Nazi officers mocked a prison librarian, until his book exposed their secret orders. Theresienstadt, 1943, The Librarian Without a Library. Theresienstadt, Czechoslovakia, February 1943. A bitter wind drifts through the courtyard of the garrison fortress, now renamed Ghetto Theresienstadt. Snow falls in a slow, grey rhythm, gathering on boots, on rifles, on the skeletal hands of prisoners huddled in the cold. Somewhere, a German officer is shouting in clipped commands. His voice echoes against stone walls built centuries earlier, walls that now hold 30,000 people in a space meant for 5,000. In a cramped corner of the old barracks, a man named Pavel Friedman kneels beside a wooden crate stacked with confiscated books. The titles are in Czech, German, Hebrew, even Latin. Philosophy, poetry, children's fables, all seized from Jewish homes, synagogues, and libraries across the Protectorate of Bohemia and Moravia. Friedman's job is to sort them, label them, and file them for the SS Cultural Office, the very institution dismantling Jewish culture piece by piece. He works quietly, his breath fogging against the frozen air. Every few minutes, a guard peers in, watching for signs of idleness. "Faster, librarian," one sneers. "These aren't bedtime stories." Friedman nods without speaking. He learned long ago that silence is safer than wit. But as he touches each book, he does something the guards never notice. He runs a tiny pencil mark along the spine, a symbol, a system only he understands. He has turned his cataloging into a secret map of memory. Each mark means something: a family he knew, a home that's gone, a synagogue destroyed. He is rebuilding a world, one mark at a time. What the Germans see as meaningless labor, Pavel sees as resistance through knowledge. And soon, knowledge will be the weapon they never expected. The SS Library of Lies. By spring, the SS Cultural Division transforms Friedman's Corner into what they call the Library for Research on the Jewish Question. To them, it's a grotesque trophy room. Thousands of Jewish books, reorganized under Nazi control, proof of intellectual victory. To Pavel, it's something else entirely. It's a vault of truth hidden in plain sight. Every day, officers stride through the room pretending to study. They pick up books they cannot read, laughing at the strange letters of Hebrew script. One day, SS Hauptsturmführer Karl Müller, a tall, angular officer from Vienna, strolls in with his boots echoing across the wooden floor. He watches Pavel dust a shelf of confiscated prayer books. "You must enjoy this," Müller says. "All this knowledge, and yet none of it saved your people." He smirks, flipping through a book of Psalms. "Empty words, like your faith." Pavel answers softly, "Words can wait longer than men, Herr Hauptsturmführer." The officer laughs and walks away, tossing the book onto the floor. When the door closes, Pavel retrieves it, and something falls from between the pages. A slip of paper, a transport manifest. He studies it closely. Train numbers, departure stations, destination marked simply as TII. He has seen that code before, whispered among prisoners. Treblinka 2. He hides the paper between the pages of another book, this one bound in dark leather, a copy of Goethe's Faust. That night, he makes a decision. If the SS wants him to build their library, he will fill it with their own crimes. The Invisible Archive. By midsummer, Pavel is no longer just sorting books. He's building an archive of coded evidence. Every document he finds, transfer orders, requisition forms, decoded messages, accidentally discarded by careless officers, he hides between the pages of classic literature. A ledger of stolen gold teeth slips into a Bible. A map of rail routes goes inside War and Peace. A letter from an SS doctor describing special treatment is pressed inside a children's storybook called The Little Prince. To the guards, it's all nonsense. Random volumes stacked in dusty order. To Pavel, it's a silent record of the Holocaust unfolding beyond the camp's walls. At night, he shares his secret with two others, Dr. Leo Katz, a teacher-turned-clerk, and Franz Monk, a young printer who once worked for a Prague newspaper. Together, they refine the system. Katz translates fragments of German shorthand. Monk retypes selected pages using a smuggled typewriter ribbon. They store the copies under false catalogue numbers, books that don't exist in any official registry. The library becomes a shadow mirror of the SS bureaucracy, every lie matched with the truth it tried to bury. The officers joke. By autumn 1943, Miller and his officers notice Pavel's strange diligence. He is always working, always reorganizing. They start to mock him openly. "Careful," one says. "Our librarian might be plotting an escape through the Dewey Decimal System." The room fills with laughter. Pavel forces a smile. "If I escape, gentlemen, it will be between the lines." Their laughter grows louder. They call him Professor, Bookworm, the Rabbi of Dust. One afternoon, Miller orders him to bring a selection of confiscated novels to the officers' lounge. While Pavel stacks them, he overhears their conversation. Snippets of words that stick like thorns. Operation Reinhard, next phase. Transports from Warsaw increased. Total evacuation schedule. He keeps his head down, pretending not to hear, but his memory records every word. Later that night, he writes the conversation in shorthand and hides it inside Faust, beside the transport manifest. Weeks pass. The officers keep laughing. They have no idea they are archiving their own downfall. The Hidden Volume. Late 1944. The war is turning. The Red Army advances through Eastern Europe, and panic creeps into Theresienstadt's hierarchy. Orders come from Berlin. Destroy all unnecessary archives. Burn evidence. Cleanse the records. Stacks of papers are hauled to the furnace room. Pavel works faster, hiding what he can before it's too late. In one desperate night, he fills a hollow space behind a bookshelf with over 60 coded pages and 5 original Nazi documents. He seals them with wax, then slides a heavy book in front, the same leather-bound Faust that started it all. When Müller walks in unexpectedly, Pavel straightens up and pretends to be sorting the fiction section. Müller smirks. "Still reading your fairy tales?" Pavel answers quietly. "One of them might outlive you." The officer chuckles and leaves. Pavel exhales, barely. Liberation. The book that spoke. May 8, 1945. Theresienstadt is liberated by Soviet troops. The survivors are skeletal, hollow-eyed, but alive. Among them is Pavel, barely able to stand. He leads 2 Czech partisans into the ruined library. Most of the shelves have been burned or looted. But the wall behind Goethe's Faust remains intact. He pries it open, revealing the cache of hidden papers. The soldiers stare, confused at first, then astonished. Inside are lists of transport numbers, coded communications, names of officers, medical experiment notes, all recorded and preserved. In one folder is a page signed by none other than Karl Miller, authorizing transfers to Treblinka. Days later, Allied intelligence officers arrive. They seize the documents and verify their authenticity. The library becomes evidence used at the Nuremberg trials to expose the logistics of mass deportation in occupied Czechoslovakia. Among the papers, one item stands out, a single book stamped with the SS seal. Inside it, written in pencil, is a short phrase in Czech. "If I cannot speak, let the pages do it for me." It's signed, P.F., the epilogue, words that outlived iron. After the war, few records mention Pavel Friedman again. Some historians believe he died months later of illness. Others say he escaped to Prague and lived quietly until 1949. But his archive remained. Decades later, museum curators examining the Nuremberg evidence noted that one volume, Faust, contained handwriting unlike any other. The coded margin notes aligned perfectly with German rail schedules later declassified from Reich archives. The man the Nazis mocked as the Librarian had, through patience and precision, built one of the most detailed micro-archives of genocide ever found inside a camp. Knowledge had survived where people could not. Books outlast tyrants. Ink remembers what fire forgets. Pavel Friedman's quiet defiance was not made of bullets or flames, but of words hidden in plain sight.